Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Nova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person you come to react to things first. I knew it. I should have stopped them. I shouldn't have let them make me make the Dragon Ruler video. They were clearly setting up for something more when they made that V-Jump promo for the Xyz one. And they're bringing them all back from the ban list for no reason. I knew this was going to happen, and now the video is already extremely outdated because the new set, ALIN, which is Alliance Insight, I think, apparently has dropped more Dragon Rulers. I am so... Something about me and touching certain archetypes, spawning new cards, it's just the Golden Nova experience. Let's go ahead and take a look at these ones, and then we'll take a look at some other releases that didn't have enough to really do a full video on. I've already checked them out already, so I know what's going on, so those aren't going to be blind reacts. But these ones are. Let's see what we're working with here. First up is Spectre, Dragon Ruler of Auroras, level 2 light dragon monster. 600 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. You can discard this card and one other light or dragon monster to add 2 Dragon Ruler monsters from your deck to your hand, except Spectre. And you can banish this card and one other light or dragon monster from your graveyard. Then target one Chasmatis, Dragon Ruler of Poles in your graveyard, and special summon it. Okay, well, I guess we'll see if that's supposed to be the grown-up version. We're already seeing some differences here with how these baby ones work, because the babies are, like, normally level 4, and they pitch to summon. They don't have a secondary effect, but these ones are mutually exclusive. One of them adds 2 Dragon Rulers. That's pretty slick, but I guess it's only for dragon decks. If you focus in on the attribute thing, you might not get a lot of success. But if you're just doing a bunch of dragon stuff, it's had success in the past. So let's go and check out the next one really quickly. Okay, this is not Chasmatis. It is Nebulous Dragon Ruler of Darknesses. Not one darkness, multiple darknesses. You can only use the one of the first and second effect of this card, the name per turn, only once per turn. So we have another hard once per turn. Discard this card and one other dark or dragon monster, then target 2 of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes and special summon them, but they can't attack this turn. Okay, that's also pretty good. If you're doing a pure Dragon Ruler deck, then you're going to be banishing them offhandedly, which you want to do to trigger their search effect, and then you can put them on the board to make rank 7s. A rank 7, which we already know we have at least one of, and judging from the bottom of the screen here, we're going to have another one. And then also in the graveyard, you can banish this card and one other dark or dragon monster from your graveyard, then target one Eclipsis, Dragon Ruler of Calamities. Ooh. Calamities? Xyz monster? Ooh. And special summon it. Okay, this is Chasmatis, Dragon Ruler of Poles. Okay, so it looks like the grown-up versions of these dragons are going to be in the extra deck. So they have to hit the graveyard first before we can use the secondary effect of theirs. Okay, alright, I dig. Okay, Chasmatis, Dragon Ruler of Poles, rank 7, light dragon, Xyz monster, 3000 attack, 1600 defense, requires 2 level 7 dragon monsters as material. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each, so they're not mutually exclusive. As a quick effect, you can send a level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to the graveyard and detach a material from this card. This effect becomes that sent monster's effect that activates by discarding itself. Oh, okay, so it foolishes and attaches a material, and what you get is the Revive from Redox, either of the 2 sends from Tidal or Tempest. God, Tempest sends something, right? No, Tidal sends, Tempest adds a dragon, and then Blaster pops something. So that's a pretty wide range of effects. And then also, these 2 are rulers, too, that have effects that when discarded, right? Yeah, so you can either make it the effect that adds 2 Dragon Rulers or summons 2 Dragon Rulers. Oh, that's pretty nifty. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a level 7 Dragon Ruler from your graveyard or banishment. Okay. So it floats into another Dragon Ruler, which will eventually pop back into your hand, but you get some material back. And then you get to revive these back with our little ones. They won't have any effects though, because, well, the second effect will work because it doesn't check to see if it was Xyz summoned to trigger it. We're just not going to have the material on the first one to keep using the effect, but I'm sure that's like secondary. They'll find something else to do. Hold on there, buddy. We'll get to you in a second. Eclipsis, Dragon Ruler of Calamities, rank 7 Dark Dragon, requires 2 level 7 dragon monsters. 2700 attack, 1900 defense. Whatever's going on down here, that's gonna be pretty funky. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, thank God. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can target a level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler in your graveyard or banishment and special summon a level or rank 7 Dragon Ruler monster mentioned on it from your deck or banishment, then shuffle that target into the deck. Oh, that's cool. So you get to recycle one of your baby rulers to get its grown-up form. It doesn't summon from the graveyard, though, so I have to make sure that we banish the Dragon Rulers. Once again, though, because we can banish them from graveyard to revive our base Dragon Rulers, that's not really going to be an issue at all. Second effect, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, as a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card to negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. Okay, so spell, trap, negate. Banishes it, which is pretty neat. This one is a lot less easy to use when brought back with the baby, because both of these effects involve, the second one involves Xyz material, which is not going to have, and it's only triggers on, and the first effect only triggers on Xyz summon, but still pretty useful on summon effects, and if nothing else, you just get a free body back, so hard to complain about that. Okay, Disaster Dragon Ruler of Extremes. Rank 7 Light Dragon Xyz monster, 0 attack and defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in your graveyard and or banishment. Attach them to this card as material, then you can banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyard with the same attributes as the monsters attached to this card. Okay. If this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind Dragon Ruler monsters as material, it gains 4600 attack and defense and is unaffected by all other card effects. Okay. Starting to see how this is supposed to work. Though actually, no, I'm not. So we need 2 rank 7 monsters as material. It can attach up to 4 level 7 Dragon Rulers from our graveyard banishment, but not rank 7s. And unless we have something coming up that allows us to use rank 7 monsters as material to make this, because this is not part of this, we need to find a way to get Light and Dark Dragon Rulers underneath this. And it only gets level 7 ones, so it does not get our any of our baby Dragon Rulers under there. It's big for what it is, and 4600 is like the combined total of their attack and defense stats, right? That was like the big, I don't know if joke is the right word, but that was like the running gag where all of their attack and defense values were 4600. But I feel like that would have to be the case, right? Like we'd have to make disasters using our new rank 7 Light and Dark Dragon Rulers, and then this attaches the other 4, and that's how you get all the elements. Once you do, you have a towers, but that's really all it is. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer on this one, but access code Talker can get to 5300. There are ways to out a 4600 attack tower, so I'm not, unless this is silly easy to make, I'm not sold on it. Okay. Drago Catastrophe. Quick play spell card. You can only use one of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn and only once that turn. First effect, special summon a Dragon Ruler monster from your hand, grave, or banishment. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can Xyz summon a Dragon Ruler monster using only Dragon Ruler monsters you control as material. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target any number of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes and return them to the graveyard. Okay, so this does not summon from the deck. It's hand, grave, or banishment, so they have to already be in rotation. Once again, we got plenty of ways to do that between the baby rulers and other myriad dragon effects. So I don't think it would have been better if it could pull from the deck, but it's not a requirement. And then we see someone in for Dragon Ruler monsters. So we have 3 options for that. During the main phase, you can banish cards from your graveyard, target any number of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes. So we can get them all back into the graveyard so we can reuse their effects. And that's all of them. I'm so curious. Am I missing something here? Is this supposed to be able to attach rank 7 Dragon Ruler monsters? Because we don't have light or dark level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters. I don't think we're supposed to rank it to any kind of rank up nonsense. We have to be able to overlay using 2 rank 7 monsters. Well, I mean, these cards are pretty interesting. If you wanted to make a pure Dragon Ruler deck, Spectre gets them into your hand, and Nebulous effectively gets you the material to make a rank 7 play. They both have the ability to revive our Xyz monsters once they're in the graveyard. Chasmatis is pretty nifty. I do love its effect to mimic any of the Dragon Ruler in-hand effects. Though, I guess quick correction here. This does say it has to send a level 7 Dragon Ruler monster, so we cannot mimic the effects of our level 2 Dragon Ruler, our little baby Dragon Rulers. Never mind, can't do that. But still, the base 4 is still pretty fine. This is just a good thing for, like... This is just a good card for dragons to have. It's just a spell or trap negate. See, because, like, if we have to use level 7 monsters... Oh. Sometimes the answer is literally right in your face, and you just don't see it until you ramble on like a moron for 18 years. Yes, the whole point is to make this out of 2 rank 7 monsters. You make them with light and dark. You attach the other 4 from your grave or banishment. Okay, which we've seen. You know, we have a lot of ways to get that accomplished. So this might actually just be one of the easiest things to make in the world. And, you know, good thing it is, because if we don't have this set up, it is a 0/0 vanilla monster. Okay, well that... hey, past Nova, when you said, am I missing something? Yes! You are! Okay, well that makes that a lot better. Okay, so this is interesting. It's funny to see that the light and dark Dragon Rulers have a way to revive themselves from the graveyard like their previous forms, but only via using the effect of their baby rulers. That's kind of funky. So, I guess it's time for the ultimate test. Will unbanning all of the Dragon Rulers and then making effectively an archetype around them be a mistake? Are Dragon Rulers so outclassed by modern Yu-Gi-Oh! That they are actually no longer a threat? Or have they been a serpent waiting in the grass, biding their time for us to underestimate their power? I don't know. I'm sure Dragon Ruler people are off their shits right now, though. This stuff is incredible. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this all works out for them. Once again, though, in the comments, let me know who won the betting pool for how long it would take me to figure out what was going on here. So yeah, this is pretty good. I like this Draco Catastrophe one, especially because it takes all of our banished ones, puts them back in our graveyard, and then we can start re-triggering all of our effects. I'm sure there's a ton of utility elemental dragons out there that we can utilize to fill out the rest of the deck, like winds, water, earth, fire dragons. Who knows? Also, big thanks to the fact that the Xyz monsters, the light and dark ones, do not search a attributed dragon from the deck when they are banished. Can you imagine what would happen if that came to pass? I don't even want to think about that. That would be terrible. Okay, the white cards. We got a couple of these ones. One more the white or Moisa white. Level 1 Dark Zombie, 300 attack, 200 defense. The standard Skull Servant and Karibo stats, I believe. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, this card's name becomes Skull Servant while in the graveyard. Duh. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Skull Servant or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand except Moisa White. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except zombie monsters. That is honestly incredible, because it's not a monster that mentions it. It is a card that mentions it. So any of our support cards, and we're about to get a pretty good one in just a bit. During your main phase, you can normal summon a level 4 or lower zombie monster in addition to your normal summoner set. I'm curious to see if this sees play in zombie decks in general because of that. Double normal summons can be pretty nifty, and just being able to go normal Moisa, get another zombie summon, trigger its effect, link 2 into any of the link 2 zombie starters, that could be this. We could see this in zombie decks in general, but for Skull Servants, this card is a bop. But this is the one that I'm really excited for. White Master. Don't make any joke. Don't you dare. Continuous spell card. If your King of the Skull Servants attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing battle damage. When I saw that, I lost my damn mind, because one of the best ways to save yourself from a 10,000 attack stacking of Skull Servants is to just put yourself sideways and wait your opponent out. Now, that's no longer going to be the case, and it's searchable because of Moissanite, so that's pretty nifty. Once per turn, you can target a Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servants in your graveyard. Send a Skull Servant or a monster that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon that target, so you do not have to... if you lose your Skull Servant King because it was destroyed by a card effect, you can bring it back while filling up your graveyard with more Skull Servants. This card is brazy! Look at these little guys! They're going after it! I love it. This is some good Skull Servant support. I'm happy for him. Will this finally push Skull Servants into playability? No! But it's still good stuff. Okay, lastly, the thing that made me the most mad over the past couple of days, the new Dragon Maid support coming out of the Quarter Century specialty box. I love these products, by the way. Really cool stuff. And we've seen some interesting cards. It was like Orcust and Punk so far. And we get Chamber Dragon Maid's Dragon Form. I've been yelling about this since probably the beginning of the channel. Dragon Maid was one of my first videos. Chamber Dragon Maids did not come out very far afterwards. I was shooketh that they would have a Dragon Maid and not one in the Dragon Form, and now almost 4 years in the making, we have Dragon Maid Stern, a level 9 Dark Dragon. Ooh, dragons, by the way. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn each. You can discard this card to special summon a Dragon Maid monster from your graveyard or banishment, so it's kind of like Ernest, the Earth one, but it summons from banishment as well. Actually, I forget where Ernest summons from. Does it only summon from hand? It might only summon from hand, so this might be graveyard banishment, which is good. 2 effect, Dragon Fusion monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This helps to make sure that your opponent doesn't House Dragon Maid or the Fusion version. The name is escaping me right now. Forcing them out with card effect destruction. So that's pretty nifty to have. And at the end of the battle phase, you can return this card to your hand, and if you do, special summon a level 4 or lower Dragon Maid monster from your hand. So, this is weird, right? Because Stern is level 9. Now, if I remember correctly, Chamber can return to the hand to summon any level 7 or higher Dragon Maid monster from your hand. So, this can summon Stern, but it can summon any of them. And this kind of so Chamber fit onto all of the other Dragon Maids, which was a departure from them because 2 of them are level 7 and 2 of them are level 8. And I think it's like a 5-level difference. So there is level 2 Dragon Maids that go up to the level 7 ones, and level 3 Dragon Maids that go up to the level 8 ones. So not every Dragon Maid fit every Dragon Maid Dragon form. Chamber Dragon Maid can turn into any of the big dragons, and Stern, because of how it's worded, can de-rank into any of the maid forms. So that's good, but it does mean that there is no base dragon maid that can turn into this. You can only summon this off of Chamber's effect, or I believe like House's effect. You can also use it to like target a level 8 one and be all like, now I have a level 9 target to summon out with that, because House summons a dragon maid that's one level higher or lower than a target one. So it's cool to have a target for this effect. But it is unfortunate that it is one of the ones that you can't just summon out during the battle phase without it specifically being Chamber. So that kind of sucks. But it's still cool. It's still pretty nifty, pretty powerful. It's a monster reborn, and it protects your fusion monsters, which is pretty good. And it's dragon fusion, so if you put in any other dragon fusion in the deck, not just House and Show, then this protection helps keep them safe. And I would be fine with just this. We finally have a dragon form for every dragon maid. So anyway, here's Lady's Dragon Maid. A maid that doesn't have a dragon form. So mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad right now. Anyway, Lady's Dragon Maid, level 8 light dragon fusion monster, 2000 attack, 3000 defense, requires 2 dragon maid monsters with the same attribute but different levels. But hold on, we're not going to use a traditional fusion method, because we first special summon this card from the extra deck by banishing one each of the above cards from your field and grave. Now, it doesn't say and or, so I'm wondering if you literally have to, like, if you could have both in the graveyard and then banish them, or if you have to have one on the field, one in the graveyard. I'm going to be not generous and say it is like that, but we have easy ways to do that. You can literally normal summon Tinkek, search, or normal kitchen, search Tinkek, pitch the Tinkek targeting your kitchen to boost it, and then you can banish those two. Parlor, literally just foolishes. One from deck to graveyard. Nurse and Laundry aren't as good at doing that because, well, they don't have a thing that specifically sends the card to the graveyard. Laundry Mills, but that's about it. So it's pretty easy to summon this off of those two. And if it's special summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dragon Maid monster from your deck, which is more likely than not going to be Chamber, because Chamber is the best Dragon Maid. You search any of the spell or trap cards when you summon them, and they summon any of the big ones. So Parlor and Kitchen are now additional copies, essentially, of Chamber, and you get a fusion monster right next to it. And also during the standby phase, you can fusion summon a dragon fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling its material from your fusion and/or banishment into the deck, from your field and/or banishment into the deck. That's incredible because you just banished a regular Dragon Maid and a big form of a Dragon Maid to make Lady's Dragon Maid, and a level 5 or higher dragon and a Dragon Maid. I think that's the material. Is what you need to make Show. So you immediately make this during the standby phase of your opponent's turn. You have that, you have Ladies, you have Chamber. You don't have Stern at this point. You don't necessarily have Stern. Or you might have Stern. I need to read how Show... No, it's only House Dragon Maid that does the summon. Show has the Omni Negate that then transforms into House. But we're not going to have those together at the same time to get Stern out of the deck, which would then provide protection to both Lady and House/Show. This card this is pretty good, though. It's pretty fantastic. It kind of condenses the Dragon Maid line into a more cohesive play that you can do that sets up like an Omni Negate off of what amounts to a single card. But I am, once again, woefully underprepared to speak about anything Dragon Maid related. So I will have to leave this up to everyone at home, though notably, this is a card that cares about banished dragons to do a dragon fusion summon, and we did just release a bunch of dragon ruler cards who are all about banishing themselves. Will we see a dragon ruler, dragon made deck? Since both are archetypes that have embraced the multi-attributed dragon properties, who can say? All of you down below, let me know what your thoughts are. Any combos for the Dragon Maids, Dragon Rulers, white stuff, if you want to talk about some whites. Let me know down below. I'm curious to see what people have got cooking. And until the next time that Konami decides to drop some juicy spoilers, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and get 5% off your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders Upstairs Media and the Critic of Innocence, Nebula Navigator's Third Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Going It/Its for the Bit/Bits, Great Big Pillock, Hair Bear, Happy Majin, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yami Nair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Bat Boos, Rank 10 Trains, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Baron Von Titty Sprinkles, Beelzephyr, Fish, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Caesar M, Chazghost, Dr. Reaper, R.I.P., Eva Padilla, Gary Lick Bread, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, McSpoofy, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Rainer Leong, Ryan Kairos, Shizuka Nijimura, Sir Knight JCB, Sophie, apparently, Sphilia, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Weasel King of Weaseltown and Zal Dreka, as well as all the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.